you guys? It is your boy, the American F1 fan, Eric Ringel here, and it is race preview time, as it is time for the British Grand Prix, and it's 1 year after the most famous incident in Silverstone history just last year between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. So what does the 2022 British Grand Prix have in store for us? Let's get on into it now. So obviously, first things first, we've got to take a look at the track layout in Silverstone. Looking at it, it's one of the more, I think, technical tracks, especially when you get into Sector 2, where you have Maggots, Beckett's. That is one of the most high-speed, I think it's one of the great, sectors in Formula One. I think it requires so much concentration, but looking at the track layout, obviously the first thing you're looking at is the Hamilton Straight. That's obviously the new starting straight. Used to be that just before Copse used to be the old pit straight, but now you've got the Hamilton Straight that leads into Abbey. Now this is a high speed start to the circuit. Typically you get a really slow corner, but Abbey allows guys to take this almost flat out, and it's going to be interesting to see if they're still going to be able to take this sector, a flat out as compared to years past with the new 2022 regulations. Then also looking at the track, you also got to think about going into Village and the Loop and Airtree, leading on to that big long Wellington Straight. This is your first big DRS opportunity. Once DRS becomes available to the folks, this is a straight. The Wellington Straight is a straight where you see a ton of passing going into Brooklands. It's one of those sectors that you can really make or break and pick up positions if you're one of the late breakers going into Brooklands. But Wellington Straight has offered some great, fantastic fighting. We've seen it from the likes of even though he got penalized for it, Roman Grosjean and Daniel Ricciardo. Roman trying to defend the position as greatly as he could, but Daniel Ricciardo was able to pick up that position. But this is a great straightaway that you're going to see a lot of action on, especially once the DRS gets activated. Then we get on into the main part of the track. This is the spot where last year's dramatics. First, I think this really kind of brought the Lewis Hamilton versus Max Verstappen, kind of to a head and really got it out into the mainstream. Was that straightaway just after Woodcote going into Copse? I'm going to show you the video, and thanks to Formula One and the FOM for having this video. So obviously the big thing is both guys didn't think they did anything wrong. I felt like it was a racing incident. Max trying to make the move. Lewis Hamilton, I don't think he did anything that would warrant the 10-second penalty he got last year. But this right here, this is a section that typically you don't see that many moves being made. And obviously with the way 2021 ended, this was kind of one of those spots in one of these races where, this could have lost Max the championship if Max maybe had been a little bit more patient. Maybe, he would have had another opportunity, as we get later on into the lap on the Hangar Straight. He may have had a better opportunity there instead of, trying to make a move into Copse where you don't typically see those moves made. But then from Copse, you go into Maggots and Beckett's, and like I said, this is one of the most technical parts of the track that I love watching, the cars go through here at such high speeds, and it's just that, little bit to where you could potentially lose the car, or, you could spin it out, or you can make up so much time in this section. And I love the racing through Maggots and Beckett's, so that's a section you really gotta, just pay attention to, see how well these new 2022 cars are going to be able to handle this section. Then obviously after you have Maggots and Beckett's, you have Chapel leading onto the Hangar Straight. This is the second of the two DRS zones you're going to have, which then leads into this long right-hander where, again, late braking is probably the name of the game here, and you have a lot more room to be able to make the late braking into this corner, because you can take it a little bit more wide. You may not get the traction that you would typically want in this corner, but you can take it a little bit wider. And you do obviously have the rumble strips that, and you have that AstroTurf. You can run it a little bit wide there as well. So you're definitely going to see a lot of fighting on this from this DRS straight into the Stowe corner. Then obviously at the very end you have Vale into Club, and this is, again, we've seen so many incidents here going into this little chicane. Obviously the first thing that comes to mind, you had Vettel versus Verstappen. Vettel trying to, make a move back on Verstappen. They end up slamming into each other, end up into the sand, and, basically took out both of them in the race. So this is another sector, another section of the track where you can definitely, try to make that kamikaze move if you don't want to be too patient. So obviously in 2022, biggest thing is upgrades going into this season. Trying to upgrade a new regulated car this year, and you're trying to bring those new updates that may give you that, few tenths of a second. And, going into the Silverstone, you've got 4 teams that are going to be bringing upgrades this weekend. One team desperately needs it, and so this is hopefully, the upgrades that they need to, start pushing their car back up into the midfield, and that is Williams. Williams is going to be bringing a pretty big update package. Obviously with, being in Great Britain, a lot of these teams are, centered out of Great Britain, and so, with Williams being there, they're going to be bringing their first big upgrade package. And then obviously you've got some other teams like Mercedes, Aston Martin, and Alpine Racing who are going to bring some, minor upgrades to kind of maybe help some of the earlier upgrades that they brought when they were in Spain. So now getting into the race and the race prediction time. So obviously 2 weeks ago in Canada, you saw Charles Leclerc be the first one to take massive penalties by, taking extra parts to his engine. Kind of did him some well. He was able to come back from the back of the field in the 5th. Red Bull has now got a little bit of an issue, with Sergio Perez and him having to retire. Looks like that was more of a gearbox issue as you started to watch some of the onboards after the race, and after I put out the video, obviously, where he started talking about that his car got stuck into gear. But again, gearboxes, you're only allowed so many of those throughout the season, and so with that being said, you don't want to run through too many gearboxes early on in the season. But reliability issues are creeping up again, obviously in Red Bull. But Max Verstappen has been, lights out. He is starting to run away with this Drivers' Championship this year. And, going into Silverstone, this is such a high speed, but not really knowing where the downforce package is going to need to be set for most of these teams. But unfortunately, I don't know if Ferrari has an answer right now for Red Bull. It's been the Max Verstappen show over the last, 2 months, ever since the reliability issues early on in the season that struck him at Bahrain, and, they've been able to find the answer, and Ferrari just, has been absolutely nowhere. Obviously Carlos Sainz had a good result 2 weeks ago in Canada, finishing 2nd, just behind Max Verstappen, but again, Ferrari, I just don't know if they have that answer, and I have a feeling that this is going to be another Red Bull type weekend, and I'm going to say it, and I honestly hope this prediction is wrong, because I don't want to see the championship end too early this year. I want it to come down to the wire like it's done in last year and in years past, but I have a feeling Max Verstappen is going to win at Silverstone, and I think we're going to get a Charles Leclerc 2nd place. I think Charles Leclerc and the reliability issues for Ferrari aren't going to rear their ugly heads in Silverstone. 3rd place is going to be George Russell. I think with the Mercedes packages started to kind of make a turn for the better, and obviously with the Lewis Hamilton podium in Canada 2 weeks ago, you know, George Russell is going to look to, you know, kind of bring it back and kind of show Lewis that, he's going to be a force within the team. And I just think George has put on, quite possibly the most consistent season I think we've ever seen out of a Formula One driver. So I think top three is going to be Max Verstappen winning, Charles Leclerc finishing second, George Russell finishing third. I think Carlos Sainz has done a fantastic job over the last couple of weeks. I think he's really gotten his, kind of his mojo back for Ferrari. There were some murmurs that maybe Carlos didn't deserve the seat at Ferrari, but I think he's finally gotten that mojo back, and I think he's going to score a top 5 here in Silverstone, and I think Lewis Hamilton is also going to score a top 5, and this is really going to solidify that top 3 battle between Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari, and I think Mercedes, can work themselves back up in, and make this a 3-dog fight going into the rest of the season. But guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are you guys looking forward to, as much as I am, the British Grand Prix this weekend? What are some of the things you're looking for this weekend? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, let me know in the comment section down below what other kind of Formula One videos you guys would like me to do. I've got a really, really good one coming soon. My wife is going to be involved. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a quiz with a little bit of a twist. So I'm not going to tell you that twist quite yet, but more F1 videos on the way. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys would like me to do. Also, guys, slap a like on this video for more weekly Formula One content. Gets it out there to all the Formula One fans. And guys, subscribe if you guys are new for more daily and weekly Formula One content. Formula One 2022 is getting ready to come out. It comes out this weekend. So I'm excited for that. I'm working on some ways maybe I can bring you some of that content to you guys. But guys, thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for viewing this video, guys. For the American F1 fan, I'm Eric Ringel, signing off.